Couple things going on. We're gonna jump right into it. So let me just set this up. Be patient with me. Hey, can you pull up the whoever's about to stay in the host? Can you pull up the Fez book on here?
Fez book?
Yeah.
Or yours? You talking about yours, right?
Yep.
Share this screen.
Here.
I got them in a specific folder. The esoteric and esoteric of the Fez, right?
And you know it.
Because we got the other one. That's the Daughters of American Revolution.
And you know it.
I can pull it up to where it can read it to us, but it reads fast, though. Never mind.
Huh?
So I can pull it up to where to read it to us, but okay. Let's share. Do you see both? What do y'all see over there?
You said what, Noble?
You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me what you see. You see my screen?
Yeah, I see the book. I see my book. Yep.
Is it half and half, or is it just the whole book?
Us on the half, and then it says the introduction. I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's the whole book.
No, I mean, how is my? Because I can't see what you guys can see. Because mine just goes to the burning bush symbol.
Oh, well, I see half of the book on one half, and then all of us on the other side.
Oh, okay. I can put it to where it's all the way up.
However you want to do it, Noble. Islam. All right, I just got a couple things set up, and we're gonna jump into this. It's gonna be a good one. Yep, I got that. Cool. So let's give it a couple minutes, man, and we'll jump right into it. I like to give a couple people grace period to jump on. So let's give that a couple minutes, Nobles, and we'll jump right into it. So let me make.
Man, we missed you at the workout, see?
I know, man. I was super busy, man, and my Empress coming in town, so I thought she was here, and I forgot she drove her car, so it was a little mishap. It's all good. But I'm gonna be going live too sometimes on Sundays at the park with the people I train, and so I just wanted to make sure it was okay with me recording them. So that's gonna be cool. I'll be able to show y'all a little bit of what I do with other people. At the same time, we doing our thing, and we'll just be doing the same thing. So, what time you got, Noble?
It is 4 after.
All right, Brian, can you go live on our page if you don't mind, Noble?
I'm live.
Gratitude. We about to get started. Let's do our Moorish American prayer.
Allah, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our God, and our salvation. United by faith, through the Holy Prophet Noble Ali. Shalom alaikum. Ayah Ash'ayah. Islam, Hotel, peace.
Peace. All right, I got it. I figured it out. Just getting my camera the other way, man. So y'all know I'm new to this stuff, but I'm getting it. So bear with me. Those that's live with me. Let me get my camera right. So gratitude for being patient with me. All right. So with that being said, Moors, I want to give peace and love to all my brothers. I want us to know that change starts within. Change starts within. If we talk about alchemy, talking about changing our physical bodies on the outside, well, the true alchemy starts within. That's number one. It's changing self. Looking at the man in the mirror and correcting self. And seeing if all the studies that we're doing, if all the time that we're putting in, are we correcting self? Because if we're studying, if we're learning, nothing's changing for self and our everyday lives, then what it's all about. This science, everything is about God and man in one, changing self. I tell everyone this, and I try to speak very, very clearly. If you were going to court of law and your life was dependent on it, wouldn't you want a person to be manufactured and know exactly what they're saying, and approve it no matter what the candor is?
Absolutely.
So I ask a lot of, and could we agree on like academia, especially in a particular field, when, okay, I'll give another analogy. A person is not only from, say, the hood, know the streets, come from a family of parents that did things and business owners and understood who they were at a young age, went to the universities, and then you have a person that just say they want to speak on it and not truth. Who would you want to teach your kid?
The truth.
You know, so I ask all of us this. Have we ever heard of Bobby Hemmett?
Yep.
Have we ever heard of Khalid Muhammad?
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Dick Gregory?
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Dr. Ben?
Yep.
Have you ever heard of John Henry Clark?
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Amos Wilson?
Yep.
So let me ask you a question. If you ever watched them and watched Tony Brown's journals, have you ever, especially if any of us watch Khalid Muhammad when he debates, especially the different nationalities, am I saying or speaking any different than any of those, especially Bobby Hemmett?
No, you're speaking matter of fact.
Especially all of that be posting Bobby Hemmett and how he talk. And then how can anyone have a problem how I speak? It be our own kind. And I say, in the university, if anybody went to the university and go to lectures, and I say, have anybody went to a lecture and hear the people speak, scholars, educators, you'll be like, man, you'll be like, oh, I see what she's saying. You would be like, because when I speak from scholarship and matter of factual, people listen, and they want me to educate their children, and they pay. So when we talk about this science and the science, if I'm willing to learn something, I'm coming into the science, and I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm not here to challenge nothing. That's just like if I'm taking martial arts and I'm going to a sensei, I'm not there to challenge a sensei. I thought I was here to learn. If not, man, the members will kick you out the dojo, not the teacher. Because they'll see that the sign of disrespect. Am I making this up?
Nope.
Okay. So when I ask brothers, what is a brotherhood about? And what is this all about? Because I tell brothers, I'm a teacher, I'm an educator in the real life. My people know my voice. I tell people I'm okay with people not wanting to rock with me. I'm okay with that. But I bet you in a court of law, I can rest my case with no rebuttal on everything. And everybody else I will be their teacher. And it's always been like that. That's what if everybody read, and like they say, when we read Carter G. Woodson, The Miseducation of the Negro and The Education of the Negro, they agree with what I'm saying and the way I'm saying it. I hear empresses, elders, and parents like, man, you remind me of my dad, that used to be under Khalid Muhammad and went with C. Freeman L. and Bobby Hemmett. She was like, I got all the videos on that. She was like, have they ever heard of Steve Coakley? She was like, and Dick Gregory? She was like, evidently they don't know who you are because our scholars was teaching this just like how you teaching it. But we want to fit in. And we don't supposed to fit in. This is the United States. We have the right to do this. And so when I say, don't try to find people, I tell people, don't try to find yourself in me and try to say, this is why you're not getting this way. Don't do that to me. Don't put that shit on me. Don't put nothing that you were going through before then, because I'm going to talk just like the prophet. A person can go back to the place they found you. This is a gift. This is a gift. Can't nobody put nothing they going through on me that they've been going through before. Because I'm here for healing. Can't nobody do that. I'm gonna make that clear.
Wow.
We're here to learn, and we've been miseducated all this time. I ask people questions. I say, okay, have you went back to the schools and all the people that have been miseducating your kids? Have you said something? Have you said something to the people that miseducated you? Have we went back and went to the churches and all the people that lied to you to the churches? Have we said something about that? No. So I ask a person if it's a choice to be here. This is a gift. I keep saying that my people know my voice. Period. So let's talk about our fez that we have on our head. Let's speak upon this, for we can be clear of a little history. Because if we have holy books are not just how can I say, hip hop magazines we'll pick up and read. These are things that we must read over and over, continuously, ponder on, read a little bit, hear a little bit, continue over and over, because you can get something different if you in the spiritual realm. If Allah's in your heart, you're going to read over your manuals consistently. That's going to be something that you do. That's going to be just like when you're working out 5 days a week or 7 days a week. You're going to prioritize. You're going to put this in your lessons. You're going to deal with your family. You're going to deal with your empress. You're going to do all the things that you're supposed to do. Why? Because you're resurrected. You're adding on. You're adding on. And so when I speak about the importance of the fez and self-identifying, proclaiming, declaring to have due process, when I say you have to become a confidence, understanding when to wear this fez in pride and every day. I understand why some people wear the turban, because it ain't the fez and it's easier accepted. I mean, come on, I've been doing this stuff for so long, but the fez is something that a lot of Moors will say, well, I'm a Moor, but I don't wear the fez. Well, a part of being Moorish, if we said we follow the teachings of our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, is wearing the fez. Now, if you operate under your own understanding, say that. I'm okay with that. But I hope you be around long enough to build up confidence in self. That's what this is all about. So the fez originated from the city of Fez in ancient Morocco. The fez is also known as a tarbouche, a Persian, a sarbouche for head cover, and chashia. When I tell Moors.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Nova, point out something in that first sentence.
Absolutely.
It says the city of Fez in ancient Morocco, not modern. So I hope people really understand that who are on here. You got to find out what ancient Morocco is.
Come on, Noble.
Not modern.
Come on, Noble. And you see how we make significance on words, because ancient and modern, modern and paleo, all that stuff mean things. And so when you twisting things and not being matter factual, why would you want to deal with a person that's not matter factual and can rest this case and there won't be no rebuttal? You want a person to be matter factual and you want a person to stand on it. And we'll listen to rap, we'll bull crap around and talk to our friends in a way, but when we use this language and when we use these words to build and lift, it should be accepted the same way. We adults. And the modern fez is made of felt, shaped roughly like a canister or a tourniquet cone. So when you see in history, you got fez or toppies, all different types. Tapering slightly towards the top, where there is a tassel fixed to the middle of the flat top. This sort of fez is often worn by members of the Shriners. This sort of fez is often worn, not originated, worn. And when I say worn, clandestine, look this stuff up. Worn by members of the Shriner fraternal organizations. The difference is that the fez has 4 circles on the top and is custom made with the so-called Shriners emblems when Masons have it. But you know our fez is not defiled.
No, I just pulled my dad's out.
Show, go ahead. Do you mind showing it?
Yeah, hold on, let me grab it. I just pulled it out.
Okay, take your time, Noble. Take your time. And a lot of people don't know those signs and those symbols is some stuff that's right, but you got to know why they got the Asiatic woman on there, because it's death of the matriarch. See, they ain't gonna tell you this. I'm elite, and when I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all, I'm induced to the science.
But look, that's the briefcase.
Yep.
You see what's on there?
And don't they got the matriarch head on there?
Yep.
And that means death of the matriarch.
Yeah, the Egyptian head, the Sphinx.
Yeah. And that's death of the matriarch.
Okay, so these they gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the dark package. Inside another package, kept in secret in the dark. What do you say? Tassel is what? Pinned down.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Tassel pinned down. It doesn't flow freely.
Nope.
It's pinned down.
Nope.
Defiled. There you go.
And it's marked, defiled, branded, just like they brand the fraternities.
And disrespecting our women.
And you see the pentagram and the crescent. Look how it's shaped upside down, just like when I showed y'all the film. No disrespect to nobody. I'm an analyzer. I use this for scholarship. Check the law.
And they shorter too. They're not as deep as ours.
Yep. And you saw the brother talking about the first time he saw the Fez is when Fire Muhammad, and you see which way the crescent and the pentagram is, the opposite way. And then you wonder, and you talk about Europeans. I don't. I say our own people. No disrespect to no one.
Oh, and so I did want to show. I don't know if you can see. So ours have circles on the top. Theirs are in the shape of stars.
Say it again, Noble.
Ours have circle on the top where these breathing holes are.
You see those breathing holes on this dad Fez? If y'all can see it, it's stars.
Yeah.
It's like a pentagram.
Oh, there you go.
Because they identify and do work. That's why they wear everything out. The skirt and all that. And our Moorish Quran, these are their tools to build up the tabernacle inside. They take everything inside and make it outside. But
There you go. Allah. Arm, leg, arm, head.
come on. They identify. And our own people are try to assassinate Noble Drew Ali and try. Oh, he was a con man. And well, damn, Malcolm X was something before then. You was something before then. Before you was what? Resurrected or illuminated? Because out of darkness come light. So you had to know the dark side to come to the light. If not, what you talking about? What the hell do the code cover of the exhuming of the nation talk about when I say the only way out the fire is to be able to go? You have to go through the fire. Come on, man. Ain't nobody here talk about you said some chemist tell somebody to dissect a frog and you scared of blood.
You see what color the face is, right? Copper color.
Yeah.
Secretly.
So who's lying to you? Not the European, because the European will tell you that he's a son of a Muslim or she's a son of a Muslim, and they only 32 and 33 degrees. They'll tell you.
It says right in these pamphlets.
I know it do. I know all that shit by heart. I keep telling y'all, I won't ever expose nobody. They'll have to tell you. Man, a lot of them go to the Philosophical Research Society where I'm a member at. Most of them that have charters, that's a legal paperwork and you can look up. That's why I be telling Moorish, you ain't got to lie to me.
But go ahead.
You good, Noble? That's what we're here for. You good, we're here to learn. That's great. So, the short Fez is often worn by members of the Shriner fraternal organization. You heard what Malik just said, how his dad's was shorter. I just said the shorter Fez, a little bit different in the height. The difference is the Fez have 4 circles on top, like Noble Malik just showed you. The difference is the Fez, our Fez, has 4 circles on top, and it's custom made. Well, come on. They adopt the Fez for themselves. They adopt the Fez. Come on, man, come here. There she go. They adopt the Fez for themselves. They adopt the Fez for themselves. And we cannot go into the Shriner Fez organization because some of us are Shriners also. Understand what I'm saying? When brothers becoming lying and playing stupid, I'm just keeping you the truth. The same thing with European masonry. Why you think they created? I hear music in the background. I hear music in the background. But they adopted the Fez. But what can we tell you is that some of us are allowed to wear our Fez 24 hours, 365 days a week. And the reason is because we inherit the Fez from our Moorish forefathers who were the Fez during their seat of power. We are Moors by birth and not an adoption right. Only thing a Negro, black, and color can make you is a Mason. It's in the introduction to your exhumed other nation, period. And if you don't have it, go to mypdfbooks.com. That's book with a Z, and get all your Moorish American literature and much, much more for a fraction of the price you'll get anywhere else. You can download it, go to Office Max or Staple and print it. You don't have a Fez? MoorishHaberdasher.com. All Moorishly owned. But the last thing we would like to say is that all Moors must remember that Muslims are born and not made. You cannot let nobody tell you that they can make you, because everybody born from their mother is a Muslim. I ain't saying how the heart of the mind is. You are a Muslim according to science. No one can disagree with me. If not, they operate not on science and on their own understanding. That's a fact. And around 980 AD, the Hajj was interrupted, and the pilgrimage of those living west of the Nile were directed to Fez as the holy city. A Moorish Fez supplied a new style of headdresses that started. Oh, you went the wrong way, Noble. All right, start right, go back up. All right, I gotta see where I was at because you went so fast. Hold on. Okay, a Moor in Fez supplied a new style of headdress that started to be widely used by the students of a particular school. The Moorish Fez became a mark of intelligence. Just like I said, when a goofy ball wearing it, it's a dunce hat to that clown. Same way they put them in the corner and put that cone head on him. You thought you were smart. You ain't smart. Everybody know you ain't smart. That Fez don't make you brilliant. And came to warn by all the northern shores of what they call today Africa. When you look at the toppies and all them different things, it's all different type of Fezes. But this Fez is what we wear is Moorish Fez, because everything symbolized something. And it's certain symbology for perforations for symbology. So the Fez meant that you are claimed our own bloodline, and that we are a high evolved noble, a high evolved noble, a high evolved noble. Now you got to start seeing what a noble consists of, what a brotherhood consists of when you say you Moorish. If you're not part of a brotherhood, yeah, you a Moor, but you're not Moorish, because there's some things contingent on being Moorish. I ain't making this stuff up. The red Fez symbolizes the supreme pinnacle of applicable wisdom, which I talk about 360. When I say the 360 is just the sum total of material wisdom, 360 is your Fez. The 360 is a nonverbal communication symbolizing what? That applicable wisdom, that material wisdom that we should have, which this Fez represents. The 720 is you understanding the knowledge coming under a teacher and a sheik, and then you become 720. And the original form is still worn in certain areas, Tripoli and in Morocco and Tunisia. In 1826, Sultan Muhammad II of the Ottoman Empire was looking to break the tradition, and upon the official dress of the empire's civil service, he originally looked at a three-corner hat of European descent, but his Divan pointed out that the three corners represented the Holy Trinity, and he reconsidered. A shipment of Fezes had recently arrived from Tunisia, so they were selected. They were selected instead. It was considered the special badge of a Turkish subject. And when I get with when I show y'all stuff in the Library of Congress, when it says who the Moors and the Turks, when I use these names, you'll be like, oh, the same people. And I ain't talking about modern neither. And I got it from their pen. And all, even if not a Muslim. Did you hear what I just said?
Even if not a Muslim.
And even if not a Muslim. So what I'm saying, they was identifying it like, I ain't no Negro black, I ain't no slave. I'm gonna wear this for you know who I am. Because I taught you it was two type of Moors. When the wars was happening, it was two type. Moorish codes and Madarids, right?
Islam.
Okay. I'm just checking. If you're not a Muslim, you were obligated to wear it. Women wore Fezes as well, but the women's were smaller and some were without the tassels then. The transition to the Fez was resisted for some time, but by the end of the century, Turkey was swept up by the European nation wave, and the Fez became a love symbol of nationality. I'm gonna talk about. Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. We in class.
When it comes to Al-Islam Muslims, Also, some of our own here within the Moorish movement, it says literally women wore fezzes as well.
Yep.
But the women's were smaller and without tassels. It's a tradition.
And that was back then. And so I'm telling people, women in the Moorish movement, you can wear your fez or your turban, represent you. How we gonna now watch this, Noble Malik? This is what I say about misnomer Negroes and a lot of Moors. How they gonna sit up and talk about the misnomer white man and the Daughters of American that wear the fez proudly in secrecy and have all they Moorish parades, but then gonna tell their own woman that they can't wear the white fez with the gold tassel? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Like I tell Moors, they'll have all these videos. Look at them. Okay, but you ain't gonna tell your empress about the white fez with the gold tassel, man. And then why, man? Listen, man, the stuff be so deep, man. Signs and symbols is everything. Why you think they ride around in the drop top Corvette? See, a Corvette is small. They call it mini like a missile. So when you look up a Corvette and you look up Italian history and a lot of things, the Corvette was a missile. It was a warship on the fucking sea. Excuse my candor, but we think everybody there original. Ain't none of that shit original. Now, and I speak from scholarship. I spoke in a college that's like this. So you think I'm finna let some nigga come to me with their feelings the same way that the door come in, you can go out. I be meaning this, man. I ain't here for no money. I've been doing this shit for a long time. I give away stuff, man, forever. Please. And people that know me know that. In real life, not on no internet.
This was a gift right here.
Shit. Excuse my candor. Excuse my candor.
Good. Bobby Hemming, go ahead.
Real talk. Thank you, Noble.
You good, Bobby Hemming, go ahead.
Thank you. But the fez was worn by our women's. And the transition to the fez was resisted, like I told y'all. But until it was Europeanized, came over, and it became a love symbol of nationality. Can you go up a little bit, Noble? It became a love symbol of nationality. A symbol. What type of symbol? A nonverbal communication. Because before you had any written language, what you had, signs and symbols of the primordial man or the Met-to-Netter. And how you gonna think you gonna understand something you ain't a native? And you don't know the alphabet, and you don't even have the alphabet. Why would you even roll with somebody like that ain't gonna give you the keys? I give the keys. Ain't nothing secret with me, but it's sacred. Fez formerly had a monopoly on the manufacture of the hat. So when they saying Fez had a monopoly on the manufacture of the hat, because only in a certain area could you go get that Fez made, because it was certain people that make it. I know somebody that make the Fez right now in Morocco, right now. I can go somewhere right now and you'd be like, damn, how do you know Sheik? Because that's where y'all get y'all Fezes from. Ain't nobody in the States making no fez like this with the proper perforations. If they is, they lying. They getting the material, everything already made, and they might just hand it together. But to get the right fez with the right tassel, these fez is already being made. I'm getting them manufactured. I ain't no liar. Everything is coming already handcraft, already made. And any other place like Amazon and a fraternal store, like a lot of Moors that go get their fez from George Lottery because they want to pay cheaper. How you say you love Moorish business and you would go give your money away to something that ain't a Moorish business to save a couple dollars. And something that's supposed to mean something to you. This ain't no baseball hat. I would want to get my fez from a Moor that's teaching it. I would want to go to no damn Amazon or to no fraternal store to get the fez. Why? I saved my money and paid $125 to get it. And then I'm going to know something before I put it on. That's why. A Moor and a Fez supplied a new style of headdress. That style to be widely worn, y'all. So we got to understand that. Go up a little bit, Noble, please. Stop right there. We got to understand that in Moors. But however, the discovery of dyes in the 19th century, and we had dyes, like I said, man, I can show y'all some stuff, man, in the royal libraries, in the archives, in the Scottish history, in the ancient Scottish history, how when certain people was calling for the Moors to come and they was paying these Moors with fine jewels and all this stuff, I'll bring it up, the names and everything. I got it all when I did my oral dissertation. I study in the Royal Archives, and when you research the ancient Scottish history, man, they got archives, they got letters and diaries of all people paying homage to Moors, coming in their courts and to their parties, playing trumpets and instruments. Every European agree with me, and every scholar know exactly what I'm talking about. And if not, they sit up here lying, and that's what you should be afraid of. Because I got proof. They say, where's the proof? I just told you, I'm summarizing it. Go to the Royal Archives and look up Scottish history, ancient Scottish history. And then come back and have a question and have a real conversation with who afraid to be
Scottish,
who.
Scottish and Irish, melanated.
All of it.
Yeah.
The European agree. David McRitchie, when we talk about the ancient and modern Britons, what y'all think I got on my head? This ain't no slave.
Nope. First slaves was Europeans anyway. They just tell it backwards.
And when I talk about Turks, when I show you the Turks was the Moors in ancient history, and Turks felt the Fez was backwards and dressed only in Western, nobility British suits and styles. On August 30th, 1925, he banned the Fez in an attempt to push Turkey into the modern world, colonized. This effort was resisted with some fury, to the point that several riots broke out and Fezes were seized as illegal contraband. By the 30s, the Fez was almost gone in Turkey when one last attempt was made to reintroduce it by a group who planned to overthrow Atatürk. This ended in deadly results, with a total of some 9 people shot down in the streets. But the point I'm making is that the Fez has always been a high distinction. In history, the Fez was represented only by chiefs and captains who wore the Fez. The black Fez was worn by the muftis, the protectors. And it ain't just nobody that's doing no martial arts and all that. It's understanding all stations pertaining to some of the same degrees in martial arts. Don't get that twisted. From 1913 to 1996, the Moorish Americans used to wear the Fezes every day. And you see us in the streets, in the courts, in the trains, certain job sites. When I tell people, anytime you know you are Moor when you see me, why? Because you can go to my place of business and walk in and see that that's a Moor without even knowing me. You will walk past Europeans, like when I showed that picture on my Instagram, when one of my customers come in, that's from Morocco. He used to come in every day and point at me, came in with his shirt on. He like, I made it a point to put the shirt on. He was like, you know who you are? I showed the pictures.
Noble.
Yes.
So it says from 1913 to 1996.
Do the math.
I don't recall what year the movie Baby Boy came out, but when him and the other young brother was standing out there talking on the curb.
Yep.
Another noble walks by with his Fez on.
Yep. He a comedian. His name is I forget his name. Yes, when he was in the streets, when he was like telling them how to hustle, and they coming out the store, he right there with his Fez on with the little African dashiki like on, with like bean pie or something. He was actually DVDs or something. I know.
But there was another one that walked by in the background with his Fez on.
Yep, sure did. Hell, in the movie when Denzel Washington was playing, what was he playing when he was snitching and when he was supposed to be doing the money for somebody, they had the picture of Noble Drew Ali right on the wall.
Oh, Training Day?
That's the Esquire.
Oh,
Esquire.
Yeah. But I can show
you.
I can show y'all so many movies. You'd be like, ooh, what Fez. They'll just make it real fast.
Yeah.
You know?
Islam.
But yeah, the Fez was worn by us every day. Yeah, you know? And we can give thanks to power to our Noble Drew Ali and CM Bey, our constitutional lawgiver per se. And no disrespect, because I'm on YouTube and see, this is not the thing when I be specific. Somebody said and that white Moor Tyrese. And I ask people, what do we mean when we say white when we use these words? And that's why I ask people, we got to be very, very, very clear. Because I ask a person, what's your nationality, Malik?
What's my nationality?
Yeah. What's your race?
My race is Asiatic.
What's your status?
Free white person.
Okay. So when we say things, I have to teach. I'll be like, well, what do we mean when we say that? When we make these statements, we have to be correct, because to some degree, when we say things, I hope we know what we're saying, and it be no disrespect. I just take words and say words are spells. So before we cast spells, when we say things, we got to be matter factual, because this is the court and this is the law, and there's no excuse of not knowing the law in the court of law. And when we say things, we have to be matter factual, or we operate on our own understanding. When I talk about connotation and denotation, when I talk about subjective or objective, no disrespect to no one. Go ahead.
There's also a reason why we say free white person. I don't know if many people understand that. It's also because when they came over here in the first place, they were considered white people, right? But they were enslaving their own, per se, white people to colonize the land.
When you research books and study, like I said, from no bias perspective as a scholar, like when you research a white cargo, and they were white and they were slaves, and a lot of things, we digress and get a little bit of clear understanding of what was going on, and instead of when we use certain words. And I come from peace and love, because we get a clear understanding and be like, oh, I have to use words in the right context.
Absolutely.
That's all. So Moors, do we know that the graduation cap and the Fez represents 360 degrees of knowledge, and the tassel represents Sophia, the wisdom? All in the biblical scriptures, when you saw Sophia, you thought it was talking about a woman. That's an analogy, a parable, a symbology. It's talking about to that wisdom, the wisdom that flows freely, like our tassel, and not pinned down when earning any form of education pertaining to a degree. That hex alpha, the dual trine, is the geometric representation of the Moabite, the Moorish Fez. The Moabite, the Moorish woman, has given a crown of knowledge to her sons within the span of 9 months. Here we go. We talk about those 9 ethers again. In the most illuminated school of the universe, which is her womb. The Fez symbolize their womb, the supreme mathematics, the African magic, that Mayat magic, that 9 to the 9th power of 9. Islam?
Islam.
Can you pull it up a little bit, Noble?
Yep.
Gratitude. The Fez is the ancient and modern national headdress of the Moabites, the Moors.
Ancient and modern.
Come on. The Fez is a brimless headdress. Y'all seen Cam Newton wear it? Most commonly produced in scarlet red with an ebony black tassel. The red Fez is matched by the red field displayed in the Moorish national standard flag. The Fez is also produced in black, white, and other color variations, indicating other meanings, social orders, or positions. So as you travel, you might see people, depending on their color of their area, they might have on a green Fez or a blue Fez pertaining on that higher science and that station if you go to different areas of the continent. The black Fez is the highest degree, right?
Yep.
The United Front towards Islam. Enforcement and security. Now think when I say enforcement of security, when it ain't no somebody the only one of this. Listen to me. The one who wears it symbolizes that he, that she knows law in full. So that's what makes you a mufti, and enforcement of the security. Without a doubt, the one who wears it symbolizes that he, she knows law in full and is able to defend it, including knowledge of martial arts. Defense physically and spiritually linked to the martial arts degrees of the black belt. The Fez is worn as a symbol of the womb. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Everything that Fez symbolized, don't I bring that back to my brothers and sisters?
Islam.
Don't I bring it back? I bring it back. It ain't no secret. Everything that the Fez, from the wisdom aspect to working out, to building finances, to, I told y'all I'm going to take it to the next degree when y'all want to learn Wing Chun and get the box. I study it. It's like sticky hands. I ain't saying it's the best art, but it's an art. To learn something that you know, learn how to work with the bow staff and the nunchucks and other forms of weaponry.
It also said the spiritual.
Also, that's where I'm absolutely Noble. That's right. Spiritual, and the top of it has a nipple, and that's why no disrespect. See, now watch this, and people are gonna get mad when I say this. But I have to be clear, nobles. Please listen to this, Brian, Malik, all of us, that when I say the Fez, it has proper perforations for symbology. I hope a person looked that up. Proper perforations for symbology. So if the top of it has a nipple shape that symbolizes the navel, why would anybody buy a Fez from somebody and got a button on it with a tassel? Answer that question.
They don't know no better.
Thank you. And so don't say this is this it. I'm explaining clearly what the Fez represent. If we represent the Asiatic woman don't have no button.
That's the 9th letter of the alphabet, that I.
Come on, Noble. Keep building, Noble. Keep building.
9 to the 9.
Keep building. So how can you say you're a Muslim and what you got on your head don't represent the birth cycle? Where's the nipple?
That's which we came and we all came from.
See, where's the nipple? You got a button. You got a button.
It's closed off.
And you got a tassel you went got from what is called Joanne's fabric. Hobby Lobby. And put that on the Fez and pass that on. That ain't how we do that. That's why I said, why would you want something cheap? That's just like you going to get a knockoff Gucci and somebody around it. Not saying that means something, but it ain't representing what it's representing. I don't have to get nothing watered down. I just said the top of it has a nipple shape that symbolizes the navel. The strands of the tassel are 360 degrees. So if you got a Fez from anybody with a graduation tassel, you got to see if it's 360 degrees, as in 360 degrees of knowledge. The tassel is not pinned down, as in secret societies. Properly flowing. You see it's over here? Watch this. I'll change it over here. Oh, you want to see it in the back? There. Now, how you happy? Properly.
Graduation ceremony is trickery.
Come on. The free-flowing tassel indicates one who was born of the womb, endowed and aspiring to be beyond 360 degrees of knowledge. Beyond 360 degrees of knowledge. We navigate upon the earth, and our potential is not limited, not pinned down or kept secret. However, it is sacred. The 4 sets of air holes are equal to the number of the woman's womb, 9. And added to the 13, the number of times a woman's cycle per year, which is in tune with the cycle of the moon. For the brothers that talk about they study clock of destiny, man, stop playing. And then you talk about it's some Allah or some Muhammad. Fez, the national headdress of the Asiatic nation of North, South, Central, the Almaroks, Americas, including the adjoining islands. The Fez is typically red with the indigo black tassel. The Fez is the headdress of the ancient ones. I got to keep saying that's why I make emphasis of saying it over and over and over. So when you read it, it means something. The Fez is the headdress of the ancient ones. The Moabite, the Moors, also spelled M-U-U-R. Geometrically formed to represent the eternal zodiac. The body at the Fez symbolizes the womb of the cosmos. And the woman, the womb, the mother, the 1 inch in the middle, the 1 inch, which extends out the center of the Fez, that should be 1 inch. And the 9th letter receiving a degree regarding the Fez. The hex alpha, the dual triune, is the what? Geometric representation of the Moabite, the Moorish Fez. The Moabite, the Moorish woman, has given a crown of knowledge to her sons within the span of 9 months in the most illuminated school of the universe, her womb. The Fez symbolizes her womb. In the phonetic Moorish alphabet, the I. This also symbolizes the navel, the eye, the cord. Here go the cord extending. And so how you gonna have a Fez and you don't even got the cord extending? You don't even got the umbilical cord. Well, how you symbolizing birth? The eye symbolizes the universal umbilical cord of the universal life and represents the oneness of all life. And it also represents the tie to the source of humanity, which how a lot of people started off, the Zodiacus. That's how they start off, and then you see how they change. And I ain't saying the woman is it takes both. Islam? Islam?
Islam. If you don't have a navel, you ain't real.
You can't be. That's what I keep telling people. I keep telling y'all, your own people will put you back in slavery. What our prophet said, they'll put a button on your navel and act like it don't matter.
You ain't real. Yeah, I'm talking about right here on your stomach.
Come on, Noble. Come on. This stuff is done purposely to pass it on as original. That's clandestine. See, they'll talk about the European clandestine, but you passing on something that want the same credit for the original. That's clandestine. Your Fez is clandestine. You can't be mad at me. See, people don't want to hear that, though. I'm dealing with specifics. In a court of a law, anybody be like, yes, rest your case, and you can't go up there. What you gonna say? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Malik. Thank you. And don't nobody care about that. Zodiacus, the first woman, the circular round ball of the tassel represents the mundane circle of the earth. See, that's why when Masons jump on my page, they know I'm telling the truth. They got that on there, death of the matriarch. And dead Negro Masons do that, no disrespect. And they know it. And if they don't know it, that's even worse. The cord wrapped around the tassel. The cord wrapped around our tassel. Now, once again, how you gonna wear a fez and you say you represent the Moorish Fez and you don't even have a cord wrapped around your tassel? The cord wrapped around the tassel strands hold the form of the circle. The Uriad represents the unity of life through the zodiac constitution of what? Humanity. And it also represents that cycle and that order, how it goes. The reciprocal nature of life. That reciprocal nature of life, how it goes. Y'all know how it goes.
They might want to go ahead this whole little paragraph and really break this down and understand what this whole paragraph is even talking about.
You say what, Noble?
But they might want to go ahead and, you know, people who are on here, this paragraph right here says a lot.
Yes, it does.
Saying a little bit.
Yep. Noble, I love how you be in the chamber. When I tell people you don't need a whole bunch for it to mean a lot. A couple of words can speak volumes. That's how I know when people study. They start picking out the little things that you might miss when you're reading it. Because a lot of people like say, I read that. I dealt with a whole bunch of people that thought they were smart. I read that. Okay, life's in shambles.
Is a circle round?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Is
exactly.
it? Mm-hmm. Come on. That tassel represents the 360 degrees of that zodiac. So how we disrespecting any of our empresses and we got this fez on our head? We out of pocket. Out of pocket. That's why I be laughing at Moors. I be like, dude, your heart ain't pure because you got your empress on your head. You got your mother on your head. The highest law, a real authority in civilization, the zodiac crown of light, the national headdress of the mothers and fathers. I said the national headdress of the mothers and fathers of the human family, founders of the civilization, and masters of the cosmos science, the 3rd, 33rd, and 360 degree master masons and eastern stars. This is a part of the hidden truth, Moors, which has been buried in the dark corner of the so-called North Gate, which they tried to bury Haram Mabith. In the biblical scriptures, Jubal, Jublum, and Jubal tried to bury Haram Mabith in the North Gate and use the setting mall. They know I'm telling the truth. The Fez.
Yeah, people, they gotta understand what the North Gate is when we talk about geography.
Come on, Noble. They ain't even doing geography. They ain't even doing no study, but have something to say. I'm like, dude, like, that's idiotic.
Yeah, so that they know where the North Gate is.
Mm-hmm. That's homework. It's very simple. You got a smartphone. You ain't tied up no more. But it's the symbol. But the Fez is that dark corner of the North Gate. The Fez, symbol of the eternal zodiac, is also called a tarbouche, a tiara, a corona soul, or corona soul. You see beers named corona soul. You don't know what it's telling you? And other names, which describe its royal status. The wearing of the Fez regarding Masons of clandestine orders. Fez is also the name of the old Moorish capitalism, the city which is located in northwest Morocco. Morocco, Moroccan, and Moors are one and the same pedigree and peoples. American is a dialectical corruption of the name Al-Moroccan or Al-Marouk, which means descendant of Moroccans, and the lack of consciousness of law and history on the part of any so-called Negro, any so-called scholar, any so-called Mason, and any more concerning the ancient history of the Americas has stagnated or retarded their ability to see through the veil of their own hoodwinking. The city of Fez is in Morocco, not Europe. The Fez is the national headdress of the Asiatic Moors. No disrespect when I use language, Albions or Trelodite, or someone that say they grew up in a cave. I mean, I'm not finna argue with no one that they say they grew up in a cave and didn't have shoes and lived in. Why am I finna argue with that? And I have a rich history. That's idiotic. And say they grew up with some dinosaurs. You see anybody in the continent of Africa say they got some history of some grew up with some dinosaurs?
Only the ones that's been conditioned.
Come on, man.
European European propaganda.
Come on. So I'll let that person have that. I ain't finna disagree with that.
There never was a time when man was not.
Come on.
Or woman.
The Fez is a national headress of the Asiatics, not Europeans or Albions. No disrespect to no one. And only Freemasons wear the Fez by ritual, contrary to the natural dress and culture of the Moors. That's why a Mason is going to wear the Fez in clandestine, the Negro. No disrespect. I tell people, and it's no hate, the European is not the joke of Masonry. The European know exactly what he or she is doing. The European know they are son of Muslim. They'll play stupid until they around the elite like myself and others, and they have to identify themselves. No Mason, Negro Mason is going to wear the Fez in regular life. Never. Never. Moors are honoring our ancient foremothers and fathers when we wear the Fez. So who is denying the connection when we talk about Ruth of the Moabites and we talk all that? Who denying it? By way of recognizing or not recognizing it. The origins of the great philosophers and the wisdom found in the halls of learning called Masonry. Yes, sir? Somebody has something?
Yeah, I said a lot of time religion does that.
Thank you, Noble. And we got to come out of that. And then when more talk about, you got to do this, you got to do this. Man, you can't be a sheik, a scholar, and adapt if you don't study all the prophets. So where you miss any science of the rest, you must study all the Gnostic scriptures. You must understand all law. You must be a true historian in regular life, not just around Moors.
Islam.
And Masonry is a system of disciplined learning. Moor is the pedigree and nationality of the direct descendants of the founders of civilization. Let me reverse. Let me say this clearly. Masonry is a system of disciplined learning. Moors is the pedigree and nationality of the direct descendants of the founding civilization and the ancient high science, the culture, the Gnosticism, the cosmology, the alchemy. Not no European alchemy, talk about changing metal to stone, but the changing yourself to hope secure, finding yourself. Geometry, algebra, numerology, astrology, architecture, mathematics, philosophies, from which Masonry draws its wealth of knowledge. You got all type of Masons. Some Masons work with their hands or intellectually, but the same type of Mason, when you are forming, when I'm dealing with knowledge, when I'm dealing with a group of brothers, I have to use the wisdom in that context as a foreman. How? Because a foreman and a true guide know how to use brother in a manifestation and put nothing on them that we know that'll limit them or hurt them. You have to know a person's gift and let them operate in that gift. And when you put a person operating in that gift, they have to understand their gift. So you put people in positions that they understand, and you don't put nobody in no position that will hurt them. Islam?
That's Masonry.
Come on, Noble. I mean, duh. That's why I be saying, Noble, some of our people don't want to be educated because they never want to be a part of structure. That's why I say, well, you need to go be a wrestler. Because that's a one-on-one. That means it's all on you. And I'm okay with that.
Gratitude for synchronizing, Noble. Gratitude. Much gratitude.
But Masonry is the high culture, the esoteric and the Gnostic system of learning Moorish history, learning science and culture, literally and factually. So if you've been looking for more science and that been taught right, and you come to me and I'm teaching you all the way right, what problem you got with me? You damn sure shouldn't be my candor. And this science was forced underground and veiled in allegorical stories, mysticism, science and symbols. If not, why you think every brother that thinks they're heavy don't know what I'm talking about? Why if a person's so heavy and they never wore the Fez and they know this then? Come on, man, we hate our own kind and don't want to give respect when we being enlightened.
Right.
It don't make sense. But Moors are honoring our foremothers and our forefathers. So go up a little bit more. Go up a little bit more.
There we go.
Okay, so you can start right there. But it's the high culture, the esoteric and the Gnostic system of learning Moorish science. The culture, literally, which was forced underground. So when I use words like clandestine, let's deal with it. It's an adjective meaning secret, which a lot of Moors come into the science with that clandestine stuff, especially those that be Qs and Prince Hall Masons. They're gonna always play stupid. Research Steve Coakley and all his documents, and then let's come back and have a conversation. They try to conceal stuff. They try to be sly. Sly is acting stupid. Oh, I didn't know. How can the hell you be a Mason and talk about like the acacia tree and all the signs and the symbols and the pentagram? How can you be a Mason and you say you don't know? That's being sly. That's being stupid. For real. And all this stuff is part of Masonry. And then coming to some brothers that a brother is 99 degrees and like you're gonna try to come and cause confusion. Never.
Or they could suffer from a lack of knowledge.
That's too. And so if you suffer from lack of knowledge, then I'm okay with that. Like Prophet says, we're not responsible for things we did when we didn't know. But when we know, we more responsible because now we know. Off with your head, because now you're keeping a secret.
Yep.
Accomplished by improper means or by stealth, as a clandestine plan or act, seeking a benefit with fair, just or proper compensation, participation, or input. So they want the same benefits as being honorable, as being noble, which noble is for a person that's a court jester and a fraud, knowing they lying, knowing they cause confusion. But I'm gonna always throw that damn whip and throw that scimitar because I'm supposed to. As soon as I throw that scimitar, I'll be telling you.
That's word. That's just using your mouth.
Real talk. And sending, come on, noble. And that's when we know it'd be right when a word will cut you. That when I say when they say if the shoe fit, wear it. Because instead of us correcting ourselves, we'll try to find words and catchphrases to correct us and try to post memes, but not looking like we say the man in the mirror. That's what we'll do. And synonyms of the word clandestine include hidden, covert. Clandestine is derived from the old Moabite Moorish Latin word clandestinus. And many have been mistaken to think that, no disrespect again, an Albion or European or a person that don't know they are Moor, a misnomer Negro, who wear the fez in secret, are the originators of the fez. They are aware of the meaning and the purpose of the fez, as it's the crown worn by those of the Moorish nation. They know, which represents the matriarch. They don't represent the matriarch.
That's why it's defiled.
Come on.
That's why the tassel's pinned down.
Come on, noble.
That's why the breathing holes aren't in circles, they in stars.
Come on, noble. That man stuff. Man, whatever. In Moorish science, our empress sit on the throne with us. Immaculate Conception is me and my empress and 9 months having a child. Bam.
Bada boom, bada bing.
And so the other people, Europeans, Albions, whatever, suppressed or absurd and stole the crown and the birthrights, as well have utilized the science, the high culture, embodied and represented in wearing of the fez, which is the science of the universe, the working of nature and natural order. We almost done. Can you go up a little bit?
Yeah.
A little bit more. Because a lot of people spoke harshly, but I'm not going to use a lot of harsh words with like what our prophet said when we talk about blood suckers and say, and how they suck the blood. And when we point at somebody else, your own people can suck the blood. Your own person can be a vampire. See, the pendulum swing both ways with me. The pendulum swing both ways with me. I ain't playing that game I don't have no friends. If you ain't right, you ain't right. Period.
I was literally just going over this because my empress had a client before class, and we was going over this part right here, where it talks about this is one of the reasons Drew said live off your virtues, and why some describe them as vampires.
Yes.
Who suck your royal blood.
Yes.
That's an analogy.
Yes.
Not a physical. It's an analogy.
Yes.
Mean that they will steal your stuff and make you work really, really hard for them, when the other way around, they're not teaching you how to work for yourself.
Yes.
Which is gratitude to you, Noble, for teaching us to read back to the vine and fig tree of which we come from.
Noble.
And understanding what a vampire is.
Gratitude. See, you and your spirit, like I said, these are not no literal books. See, people be trying to get this, try to read literal and be all, you in the wrong perspective. These are you in the wrong chamber. You in this trying to read something, you in the literal fence in your lower self trying to read spiritual books. It ain't gonna never work. Because I ain't talking about nobody that don't like they're a vampire. No, I said your own brother can be a vampire. If you're in a higher chamber, I said the pendulum swings the same way to the left as it does to the right.
Yeah,
Well, you got dead black Masons. So if you got a brother in your family or people you know, that's a vampire. A lying preacher is a vampire. A lying lawyer is a vampire. A lying Moor is a vampire. What?
Just like when you broke down this earlier here where you said 9 months, Immaculate Conception, right? People in there where it talks about Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. Joseph took unto Mary to be a wife. People don't even understand the context what that meant back then. But then, bada boom, bada bing, the Virgin Mary or the Virgo Mary became pregnant.
Teach, Noble, teach.
The Virgo is her zodiac sign with the Virgin, not that she was a virgin. You gotta understand the context in which they spoke back then.
Yeah.
They spoke eloquently. They didn't speak
Just poets.
They didn't speak quantitatively or emotionally.
Come on. Parable, analogy, symbology. I say, is the Bible written in parable? Yeah. Is the Bible written in analogy? Yeah. Well, then, do you understand it? No. See? That's the craziness of our people. And many think
Deception in the Bible anyway, so.
Yep. And our prophet didn't tell you to get rid of your proof. More we talk about the Bible this. Yeah, our prophet never told you to get rid of your proof. He said, how are you going to get rid of something that's you got to use if that's evidence? So you're going to get rid of everything when I ask you to prove your case and prove you done got rid of your birth certificate. You done changed your last name instead of annexing the best. So when the time to prove everything you saying, where it's at? See? You have no evidence. You talk all that smart law stuff. Well, when you in a court, you must prove, right? Right?
You better keep
with evidence.
That's right. You better keep your evidence.
Okay.
Don't throw nothing away.
Okay. So we almost there because we almost in an hour. Many think the Fez belong to the Turks without knowing that the original Turks are the Moors of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire being active into the War of Wars, which coincides with the 40s, wherein COINTELPRO charged Moors of the Moorish Science Temple, claiming they were in cahoots with Japan against the United States. And others think the Fez was originated and belonged to the, no disrespect again, pale Arabs. I like to call them Albians and or Russians or from Bolivia. Can't be mad at me because they're not the original Arabs. When I say that, their own pen to tell you. It's ARAP. What's the author name, y'all? Vladimir Dale. We got Vladimir Dale's 1800 dictionary tell you exactly what an Arab is, ARAP. And so don't sit up here and say, well, I don't think this, I don't think that. Deal with the facts. And without knowing the original Arabs are Moors, because the European ain't gonna agree with me again. It's another writer called Bertram Thomas. He wrote a book called The Arab. And when I tell people you ain't read it all and got the original, because the original had a page, I think it was 290 something. I got the original, and they take out the genetic proof who exactly the Moors are. The Israelites, same thing that everybody be saying. Come on, man. The Ishmaelites, same stuff. And that some old and some sold each other out into slavery, even while wearing the Fez, as they do or attempt today. When you got people that make videos, the Moors sold Africa than Morocco. Man, you killed your brother. A Negro killed my brother. What are you talking about? A Negro killed my brother. My baby brother killed Jelani Goodman Bay. And you talk about the Moors killed this. Man, Leopold used the Fez as a uniform. So if somebody come with the power to kill everybody in your neighborhood, certain Negroes sell out just because they scared.
Yep.
So miss me with that garbage, man. Just like they sold out Patrice Lumumba in the Congo, his own people. They couldn't have took overthrown without his own people. Was like, oh, bam, research it. Just like the Big Six took 250 grand to call you a Negro. Just like the African American Summit, they took a couple dollars to call your ass a slave. That's why our prophet said, be careful, Moors. Some of your own people will put you back into slavery. Research, now I'm gonna give y'all another reference because I love giving references. When a scholar gives references, when they say, where's the just like, man, you can find Bobby Hemmett, he was like, where are your references? Well, I'm going to listen to your ass and you don't have no references. Here we go. I give you references and everything. You ready? Research the Federal Depository of New York State and Handbook of North American Indians, page 290, U.S. Government Printing Office, Washington, D.C., 20402, stock number. Just like when I tell people they lying about their law cases, when I say, you know, I can look up the doc number, Precedent in Law Cases, Free Information Act. I'm going to give you 2 seconds to tell the truth before I blast your ass out being a liar. Stock number 047000-00351-2. Now, if people said they read this book, this should have stuck out to you. That's why I say you just don't read. This would have been highlighted because this is a fact. Copyright 1979 by Smithsonian Library of Congress, cataloging public data. Did not prophet say he'd lead a European here long enough to tell you the truth? If you're going back to something, then that tell you everything ain't all a lie. You know?
Prove all things, hold fast to what is good.
Prove all things and hold fast to what is good. Period. And people come with slander. I said the reason why, because most of us deal with entertainment. I deal with education and wisdom. And most people that I deal with don't look like me. It'd be a few scattered out there, but they be from another area. And a lot of them be from Europe, Britain, that understand. Especially, I did a whole lecture at GCU when I was talking about Swarty Pirate, Black Pete in the Netherlands. Changed the whole dynamics on them.
Right.
Huh?
Where Barclay on here? So when Barclay was in Vegas, the guy told him he looked like he was from the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man. They be telling, they know the Corsica flag. Where y'all think this stuff at? I'll be laughing. European men wear the fez behind closed doors. It's clandestine in secret societies where they perform rituals, take the oath of the demigods, and work hard to keep the light of the truth regarding the North Gate, North America, Northwest Mexico, Northwest Africa. But they have to identify because they're showing you with the signs and symbols. Moore's just not reading. And close to the map.
Answer to the question from earlier.
Yes, sir. Yes, come on, Noble. Closed to the masses, even unto the mothers and fathers of civilization, who in fact taught no disrespect to Europeans. Now, if you a Mason and all this, and they Masons, why you separate? And brought them out of darkness during the European Renaissance. See, we never had to see the Dark Ages and the medieval times. That was they crazy stuff. When you talk about Oliver Cromwell and all this, see, I teach all the history, and then when you research that, you'd be like, man, dude, the Jacobites, the Canaanites, the Iberians, oh snap. And I start showing you all pictures of you and me in the museums, what they hide and lock down. Ain't nobody finna agree with me, disagree with me. Yes, sir.
Who said they came out of cave?
Not me.
But what's in the cave if you ain't got light? What is it?
Death.
No, it's dark. Right?
It's dark. Yes.
Dark ages. We came out of the caves into the light.
Very simple. We were already in the light. We never have a history of not having a written language. Show me a history of no disrespect a European with a written language, an Albion, a Trailerdyke, somebody that said they grew up in the cave. Show me. You can't.
English, which is the newest language on the planet.
Period.
The most recent language, and it's compiled of all other languages.
And nobody better not come with no Yiddish and all that, because we destroy that with their own pen. So it's no disrespect. I'm speaking on scholarship and scholarship only. Get out your feelings. But they taught through the Masonic order, and they did teach through the Ma and the Sun, the science of the universe, the sacred lessons of life and nature, in an effort to civilize them and bring them into cultural society. No disrespect again. The European, the Albion, the Trailerdyke, whatever you want to call it, later created clandestine orders to keep the teachings amongst themselves. European, Albion, Freemasons not only wear the fez in secret clandestine, they wearing the fez in secret around you too. And written at the top of their fez, when you pull up like J. Edgar Hoover and all them other people, it'll say Islam, it'll say El Bay, it'll say Muslim, and it'll say Morocco. All that stuff, it'll say on the fez to show they, in fact, are aware of Morocco. So if something I'm saying ain't matter of factual, why these people got that on their fez? Because they praying to you in secrecy. The empire and the subordinate kingdom, and they are well aware and practice Islam. I'm telling you, when they get higher, they start practicing Islam and they become a practicing Muslim, period. And they know the true meaning of Muslim. And they are aware of the 5 noble titles of El, Bey, Day, Al, and Ali. Excuse me. Didn't I show y'all all them European writers? That ancient book we got right now, what it's called? That we turned to a book? I'm finna show y'all something. What it's called? Alonzo just got it. What it's called?
The ancient
Atlantis to the latter day.
Now watch we build. And cause me and Alonzo with I told y'all, man, it's teachings and everything. The European are gonna always identify. The European, you show his name, and then in parentheses, you see his high station. Am I right, Alonzo?
Islam.
And in this station, he put the L on it. And in that book, it's talking about all of Osiris, all the stuff I'm teaching y'all. And so when I give you the European stuff, I'll show you that none of that stuff is high science. I'm teaching you the high science. They just teaching you the elementary wisdom, what I'm teaching you. Trying to make it high science. Everything that they think is high is elementary wisdom to us. Is what I'm telling you. That's why they try to make it secret. The stuff that you should know. That whole writing, everything that they try to make unavailable and all that, I'm teaching it.
The cold part is the ones that's not in with the in crowd, so to speak, the Europeans, is that they do it to everybody. That's why they keep you in school till 12th grade when they don't really teach you the elementary wisdom. The only thing they teach you is the language, mathematics, and how to read. The rest is up to you in your household, in your tribe.
Yep.
To learn the wisdom.
Yep. And no, but see, when I be speaking, like when I talk about on the college campus, because I be around a lot of professors, a lot of different dignitaries, and most of the professors at GCU is Masons. They don't care about no Negro with no money. Because money is given, not earned. When I show y'all when I be on campus, it ain't nothing what they give. These professors don't look like me. I'm higher than them. They Masons. Money ain't nothing to them. I promise you. It's the wisdom, it's the science, and they pay for that. Swell. We just pay for designer. But these titles were transferred and renamed as the 5 civilized tribes of acceptance during the so-called Indian Agreement. However, many are aware now that this is not India. The people were and are indigenous to the land or natives of the land. Research the doctrine of discoveries. The European agree with me. So now we almost done because I want to let our empresses know about the white fez and we out of here. We must touch this. We like.
Was just talking about that because her grandmother is Indian from India.
And
then you really said she's Indian. The people in America aren't Indians.
That because you in India don't mean you an Indian. It's a twist. It's a wordplay. We'll teach it. We already untaught it a million times.
Indian American versus American Indian are 2 different things.
Yep. When I tell
one has a nationality, one doesn't.
Yep. And when I teach, I say, man, whatever. I'm here to give it to you.
Indigo too, right?
You say what, Noble?
Indigo. Indigo.
That's a certain color.
Right.
So regarding the white fez, Daughters of American Revolution, the DAR, and other Eastern stars, when I tell our empresses, you are the Eastern star. Stop letting people tell you stuff just like I tell the misnomer Black Masons. I said, where you getting all this stuff, this lower level science from? I already established that the fez represents the womb. The 4 sets of the breather holes counted up, or spell out the numerology, which is the sacred number of what? 9 + 4 = 13. The cycle of the moon and the cycle of the woman in harmony with the moon. So the white fez represents the moon, and the gold tassel is the sun, and the 360 degrees of knowledge aspired to upon the earth plane. And this ball of mud, that gold ball of mud. Thus the white fez represents purity, symbolic of the womb. The Moabite nation flag, the matriarch, is white with a gold crescent and star. The crescent represents the mother and child, the mother cradling a child. Come on, I know y'all get it, just like they do the Virgin Mary, all this stuff. I show y'all, man, the ancient books. This ain't no secret. It's only secret to Negroes. I'm accepted in all European houses. Did y'all see that picture when I was in the Catholic church and I was pointing out all those Russian icons, but they just changed the nose a little bit? Man, I was in scholarship. I get to go in all those places. I was with my wife. They took me in the back. They got all our stuff in gold. And they got a big gold chair with the pictures of the Messiah with an afro, blacker than me and you. So can't nobody, don't come to me with that bullshit. Excuse my candor again. For real. No disrespect to nobody. more specifically the mother and son, as she can easily duplicate herself. But to transform a female egg into a male specimen is the miracle. That she has created the miracle son, the prodigal son from what? Her womb. When pondering upon the daughters of the American Revolution, which is the DAR, we find that they began charters as far back as the 1890s. When you talk about the marriage license, when everybody talk about the Zodiac laws, well, you ain't read it. Especially if you're not in a union yet, you shouldn't go to the city hall. You should do it with a Moor. All you got to do is get the right paperwork. When we sign it and we got our right of notaries, it is official. You don't need a third party. Because see, a lot of people that say our prophet told us to go to City Hall. Yeah, if you don't want to listen to his words. And some people twist the words in books. But if we're going to speak truth, why do I need to go to the City Hall and get a contract for my woman if I know this today? Why? Tell me. Tell me. If you know the signs, you don't need to go get no contract. Is that going to make you faithful and honorable to your empress, a piece of paper? Huh? No. All right, then. But the mother and son, she could easily duplicate herself. And when pondering upon the daughters of American Revolution, you can see when they began their charters as far back in the 1890s, who created that marriage license here in the Northgate, northern Amexima, northwest Amexima, and the heartland of the temple of the sun and moon. The sun and moon, the Masan, which me and you are. I show y'all on my charts. Look, Noble, and I'm not even gonna teach on the chart yet. Because this is for a whole other teacher, because I gotta hurry up and get done. What they talking about? I mean, do you know what you're looking at? What everything that I'm talking about, I can explain from the chart, from the C female chart. Come on, man. As a scientist should. I mean, don't they see all the charts on the back of my wall? I got many charts. Man is made in the image of Elohim. I'll show you how the body is made in these images, pertaining to the tabernacle built without hands. The chief cornerstone that was rejected. So, come on.
They think that's a play. Yeah, in some religious houses, they think that's a play.
Yep. The Moorish nation flag is the flag of her sons. It's the red with a 5-pointed green star. Venus, the mother, in the center. And when she became unconscious, the flag of her sons was flown. And it represents the great bloodshed ensued upon the land, many divisions and tongues, false prophets, and mass destruction, and the likes. This bloodshed was not only in death of the human form of many Moors, but it represents the flow of shedding of the blood to make up many other nations. We talk about grafting per se. The scepter, if you will, Moors, was passed to her sons while she lay unconscious, because the son does all the bidding of the mother. Stay in context. Don't y'all remember that movie? Man, I forget that movie, man, when I forget who was in it, and they had the cop tied up, and he was laughing, and they were beating him. He was like, "You're not Italian. You're sons of niggers." Blah 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 blah. I forget the movie. He was telling him like, "Y'all ain't like y'all history, ancient history from the Moors. Your forefathers are the Moors." He was like, "Those Moors, those niggers fucked your mother." Excuse my candor. Come on, man, it's in the movie.
True romance.
Thank you.
Yeah, true romance.
Thank you. So when I be speaking, I hope people don't be getting mad. It's in there. He said, listen to what he say. Listen to it.
What movie?
It's called True Romance.
He telling you the truth. Because you know the Moors back then, they love that type of woman. Just like people be saying, well, they had this with this woman. Okay, let me ask myself a question. You in the war, right? You in war, whatever. And the war you at is in Korea. And you've been over there for damn near 10 years. What type of women you gonna be dealing with?
Korean women.
Oh, okay. So I'm just being rational when people be talking that dumb stuff, Noble. I said, dude, a lot of men was in military. It wasn't none of they women there. A lot of them men had children. See, I know too much. Just like when a person try to talk about our prophet, talk about, look, our prophet was to mess with young girls and this, that, and the other, and watch how I destroy that goofy shit when I talk about common law. So look at the common law in that time, and what was the age when our prophet or any man could marry a girl. I guarantee you it might have from age starting from early to 15. But not only this, Malik, I tell a person, go ask your mom or ask her how old was grandma when she married granddad. See, I opened up a can of worms in everybody's family. I opened up a can of, because that was common.
It was called age of conception.
Yes, it was common. So ask your mama right now, how old was grandma? If your grandma ain't like when we married granddad, I bet you your mom would be like, probably about like 13, 14, 15. How old was granddad? At least 25.
You had to go prove yourself.
See, they'll be want to talk, especially these people from the South. I'll be like, dude, and they be talking these more. They'll put all that. I said, dude, you got this in your family. Please.
Everybody. I don't care who you are.
So stop that goofy stuff. We here to learn and build and create our own, which the law say, and support something that we can do. And it's not the son's fault, because we told y'all she was caused the great destruction. Fall of humanity, the empress. That's why I say it's on our empresses to get this back to accept us as the men. It's because we represent them. We trying to stand them up. It's all our responsibility. It's not just one. So when I talk about signs or symbols, you will see the prophet sometimes holding her up. That's a lot of shoulders. That's a lot of work to bear for one man. You got to sit her on the rock. That's all our position, because we all supposed to protect her. It ain't just one of our jobs. I'm breaking some. I'm talking in parables and analogy. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. She's too heavy for you to carry by yourself. Her awakening is or will be the great wrath of Allah. See, that's when it's going to make sense. When I, well, not mine, but other people, empresses, and and as a body, it come in and we all do it. That's when it's going to happen, because then an empress is going to be so important. It's going to change the paradigm. Venus, the mother, in the center, when she became unconscious, the flag of her sons was flown. Think about that. That blood wasn't shed just of death. It was false prophets, all that stuff. So what do the daughters of American Revolution, what are they against? The established was based on the promotion of historic preservation, education, and patriotism. That's correct. They are directly against the matriarch. Pull it up some. We almost done. Pull it up some, man. They against the matriarch, which is the Republican form of, you going too far, Noble, I think. Wait, okay, there you are. Yeah, I'm sorry. Which is the Republican form of government in America. And a republic is based in matriarchal principles, not patriarch. Their revolution certainly was not inclusive of the Moorish, the Mobile, and the Asiatic, the misnomer African woman, as she still thinks there is a revolution to come, and rightfully so. Can you go up some more? So our daughters and our empresses must wake up, and she must wake up and recognize that she is the mother and daughters of American Revolution, and that they are revoluting against her sons, on which they, the daughters, were in concubines for. The Moabites, the Moors, the Asiatics, the empresses from so-called African women. They got to recognize and begin using the teachings. Teach your daughters to use the science of the number 9, the science of the womb, to involve the powers and purpose of her womb to bring in the children of great accomplishments. So that's what I want us to know. The development of the fetus, the Muslims, in the 7 stages of development upon the waters of her womb, is the cut from the navel and begins navigating the L upon the 7 waters of the continent. The daughters of American Revolution were well aware of the science of the womb, and they utilized it in their revolt against the history. So I want us to be clear, man. This science is ancient. This science always represents us. It's people that adopted the Fez, no matter what color. They do it in clandestine. This is more science. Islam?
Islam.
Any questions, Morris?
Islam.
Any questions?
I'm full. I'm good.
Gratitude, man. I just wanted to touch. I wanted to touch that book. Like I said, sometimes we have to throw audibles because this is real life, and it was very imperative to speak about our Fez and understand it, to get a clear understanding what we're representing when we represented it, so we can have a little bit more calmness and understanding when we're doing things, and when people ask. This is your ammunition. This, and a lot of the other books that go with it is our ammunition. Just like our divine creed of Moorish Islam that we gathered and compiled and divinely prepared. That's ammunition. That's the basics. You go over that all the time. Sufism and triple roll of the adapt chamber, and how we work our commanded and adapt manual. The House of Ali, mysticism, all those books that I got, we got to go over those consistently, because I put them together to be so short that it don't take us long.
awesome, amazing job at that, gathering and compile, Noble.
Gratitude, Noble. Gratitude. So I love y'all, man. Thanks everybody that's on here on Instagram. I mean on YouTube. Thank you for the donations. It was Cash App $KG Bay. If you like the teachings, small donations is good. If not, it's all good. I'm not here to beg. But if you do give a donation and you want a piece of literature, you want the science I was just reading, $10 donation, I email it to you. It's no problem. So gratitude, man, and peace. Can we do our Moorish American prayer and our benediction, please, somebody?
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Ashe. Shalom Aleichem. Asha'ar. Assalamu alaikum. Islam.
Peace, peace, peace. Anybody here to do our benediction? We don't mind. Is Noble Alonzo here? I know he keep losing signal. I figured that he'd be losing signal.
I'm pulling it up now.
Gratitude, more. I thought I had it down here with me, but I didn't. You got? Nope. Or nothing.
Allah, dear son, not always, as thou shalt strive to give credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine act of love upon thy brother, and do the best to shun thine evil. Remember to stay supple of the breath of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all that you might nourish the soul of men. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not pick the box to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal death, for behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hand. And yet, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there is still a greater part of our nature that is Islam. May Allah protect you, guide you, serve thee, listen thy aid, give thee everlasting peace. Islam.
Islam, man. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. So gratitude, everybody on YouTube. Gratitude. Like I said, if you want any of our literature, mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z. All your Moorish American regalia and much, much more at moorishhaberdasher.com. And if you have any questions about our teachings and our adapt teachings and how we teach and history, our temple and school have a web page. Is bbtsciencetemple.com. Peace and love.